Hello, class. Welcome to Fresh Brew. We're actually on module almost 5. Yeah, module 5 this week. So we're cruising right through. We're getting close to the end, right? So that's pretty amazing. Today I'm drinking a large coffee. I've had a Monday that's went into Tuesday. So you know what that's like. So I just wanted to recap a little bit about the discussion on alcohol, which was fantastic. Your discussion board was very active, and I just love it. You guys must all post like on Monday because my phone just blows up on Monday. So this morning I spent some time reading some of your posts, and I just wanted to chime in on a couple different things. Some of you pointed out. So the one thing I just want to say first off is some people had said George didn't have tolerance. And I want to correct that because George did have tolerance. Tolerance just means that somebody can handle larger and larger amounts of alcohol without having the effects. And so your body becomes, let's see, not really accustomed to it or used to it, but it changes. And so, the body's kind of like, well, since, you're going to keep drinking this, I've got to change in order to make sure that it doesn't do immediate, like acute damage. And so, but over the long term, it does lots of chronic damage. And so George did have tolerance. But the thing that really stands out in this case is that the difference is gender, which many of you picked up on. And the difference also is genetics in terms of how men and women are different and how genetically we're very different. And so women don't have kind of the body volume like men do. And if you would have seen these clients, you would have seen that George is huge. I mean, he was a big guy. And the other client, Sarah, was very small. She was a very small woman. And so, that certainly did not help in her case. The other thing, and I think it was Donna that brought this up, and type of drink. So that wasn't necessarily spelled out. And she was correct. So George drank a lot of beer, and which typically, the volume, there's not as much alcohol in beer. There's a lot of volume compared to alcohol content. And Sarah drank a lot of hard liquor. And so she could drink, a lot more, and it was more damaging because the alcohol content was so much higher, meaning she could get more into the bloodstream, the liver, and all the systems pretty quickly. The other thing to point out is health issues. So just in general, Sarah was a woman who had a lot of stress, a lot of pressure in her life, being a young mother, some relationship difficulties, working, and when I say young mother, she was actually an older mother who had a young child. And so she was young mother in the sense that she was parenting later in life, which took a lot of stress on her because it was such a different way to live. And then George, on the other hand, he had a lot of support. He had a lot of friends. It was kind of what everybody did. He didn't have a lot of stress, particularly in his life. And so the one thing that I appreciate, Jessica McCaslin, your comments about being fair and pouting and those kinds of things, you're right. It is not fair. This disease does not discriminate, and it is not fair. It's not a fair disease, and women take the brunt of it. And so what I really want to leave you with is that we have to be aware that it affects all people differently. And even if it's a short time for women, we have to make sure that our clients understand it can do a lot of damage in a short time for women. And then somebody else brought up psychosocial issues. I didn't mark down who that was. I think it might have been Pam, but that's such an important piece. I mean, there are so many different issues that went along with Sarah's substance use versus George's. And some of that, like I talked about, Sarah having all those other implications, and George not having as many of those kind of in his life, in his culture, in his situation. So, and then finally, one other thing, Julie Forrester had a great post that had a lot of real good technical information in it. So check that one out. And like I said, Donna also had a really good post that brought up some unique points. So you might want to check that one out. All right. Well, we're going to move away from our most dangerous drug, which is alcohol. And I hope that you guys have picked up some things that you can use with all clients that you see from this, because alcohol use is pretty universal anymore, which is kind of unfortunate. But just remember, in moderation, it's fine. It's when, things get, when we use it in an unhealthy way, that it's problematic. All right, so our next module is about your paper, which I'm super excited to read your papers because there were so many cool topics. And so you'll post your paper by July 9th. You're also going to make a short presentation from your paper, which is going to go on the discussion board. That's also due July 9th. And the presentations, I would like everybody to take a look at those, make a comment. So look at least 2 of them and make a comment by July 16th. And this is all in the syllabus and in the assignment stuff, so it shouldn't be a surprise, but I am super excited to look forward to reading your papers. I will get onto the grading, I promise, of your work so far, and I hope everybody has a happy 4th of July, that it's safe, that you have a good time, and celebrate the great freedom that we enjoy in this country. So we will see you next week, and take care. Bye-bye.